Another thing that we have to always remember is that we must have knowledge of self. What do I mean by that? You have to know who you are. You have to know exactly who you are as a person. Let me give you an example. If you know you cannot drink alcohol under any circumstance, you must know this. You also must accept this. You understand what I'm saying? It gets to a point in life where it's no room for error. There is absolutely no room for error. If you know you cannot consume liquid alcohol, then that's just that. Under any circumstance, you cannot consume liquid alcohol. You cannot. You understand what I'm saying? There is no just one beer. There is no just 3 shots. There isn't any of that, because you know yourself. And since you know yourself, that means what? You cannot consume any liquid alcohol. A lot of us don't even know who we are. You understand what I'm saying? On so many different levels, we don't even know who we are. Man, I just was going to go into the casino real quick, man, and just play a quick $200, and you walked out $2,000 down. You understand what I'm saying? For the 5th time. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is not something that you just found out. You've been knowing that you've been struggling with this casino demon that's been on you. You've been knowing you've been fighting this gambling demon. You've been knowing this. But guess what? You chose to ignore it, and you walked up in the casino anyway. And so you got the same results that you've been getting. Albert Einstein, his famous quote is the definition of insanity. Is doing the exact same thing, but expecting different results. A lot of us are doing the exact same thing that we've been doing, and we're expecting different results. It does not work that way. It does not work that way. You understand what I'm saying? It's a quote that we say in our community, and it says, you only got to change one thing. It's not that hard. Only thing you got to change is one thing. I was like, well, what's that? Everything. You only got to change one thing. And what's that one thing? Everything. You have to be willing to change everything. You understand what I'm saying? Everything. You may be able to get away with, keeping the way you dress, something like that. But I mean, everything else is going to grow and change. So pretty soon that's going to weed itself out too. You're going to change the way you dress. You're going to change the way you talk to people. You're going to change the way you eat. You're going to change your sleeping habits. You're going to change the way everything is going to change. Everything. And that's the beauty about the power of reflection. When you reflect on all of this stuff, you sit back and you're like, you know what? I could have done 1,000,001 things different. I could have done so much stuff. I could have handled so much stuff differently. But the good news is if you're still alive, you get a chance to handle 1,000,001 things differently for the future. Let's do it now for the future. You understand what I'm saying? Let's look at the past. Let's study it, see where we went wrong, analyze it, decipher it, break it down, process it, and let's move forward. Let's move forward and try our best. We put our best foot forward and do our due diligence and try to make sure we do not make those same mistakes again. Because, like I said, risk and reward. You understand what I'm saying? You know, especially when we're talking about this addiction. Nothing you can name is worth your family. Nothing you can name is worth your sanity. It's not worth that house you got. It's not worth your children, your kids you got. You understand what I'm saying? It's not worth that car you got. It's not worth that family. You can't name anything that's worth. You can't name one thing. You can't name one thing that's worth the dark depths of addiction. You can't do it because there isn't any. It's not one thing that's worth it. Not one. It isn't. And so knowing this, we have to change everything. It's everything that we have to change. You understand what I'm saying? Everything has to change. And we can start small, but it has to be done. You understand what I'm saying? I would create some new friends. That's big. You know, a lot of your friends, whether you know it or not, they're very influential in your life, in your everyday lifestyle. They are. So you got to create some new, healthy, dependable friends. You know, some friends, they're going to be right there when, you know, when it's time for you to help them. But when it's time for them to help you, oh, my phone got cut off, bro. You called me? What time did you call? My phone had got cut off. I had to go get an extension on the phone bill, and I did. You got to get you some better friends. You understand what I'm saying? But when it was time to drink that bottle together, guess what? They was right there. You know, when you got done donating plasma, when you got that $50, guess what? When it was time to go, they was right there. You understand what I'm saying? But now when you're the person that needs the help, they got every song and dance in the world and every story in the world on why they couldn't be there, why they couldn't help you. You know, you got to get you some better friends. You know, you need a whole new circle of friends. It's big. People, places, and things, man. Start with your friends. Sometimes you got to cut off family members. Sometimes you got to step away from that favorite cousin, that favorite uncle. You got to walk away from that favorite uncle. You know, that uncle will have you doing some things that you might not be able to come back from. You understand what I'm saying? It all comes back down when, you know, all of this stuff hits me when I reflect. I got to be able to reflect. I have to be able to reflect. Without reflection, you just keep going and going. You don't even have a chance. You don't even have time to sit back and think about the decisions and the choices that were made. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to be mindful of reflection. Reflection is a very pivotal. It's imperative. It's of significance. It's extremely important to reflect on our lives often, frequently, as often as you can. You know, I might reflect a few different times throughout one day. You understand what I'm saying? I get home from work, shower, eat, sit on the couch, and reflect the process and the times throughout that day. I have to do that. You know, it might be lunchtime and I'm in a break room at work, sitting down eating, and I'm reflecting everything that transpired from 9 to 12. As I'm sitting here eating my food, I'm reflecting. So sometimes you got to reflect. You have to. I can't stress it enough. And when you sit down and you reflect, it's going to be so much stuff that's going to pop up, and you're going to be like, you know what? I could have done this differently. Man, I wish I would have just did that. Man, I wish I would have just listened to when she told me not to go over there too. And I went over there, and that's when they kicked the door in, and I went. It's going to be so much stuff that's going to pop up that you would have never even thought about it, because you never took the time to sit down and reflect on your life. You understand what I'm saying? But once you get past the reflection, you will also, you will think about your future. You don't want to get too far into the future. We don't want to start future tripping. We don't want to be doing that. But we will think about, our future goals in our future timeline. What is our 1 year? What is our 1 year goal? What is our 6 month goal? You understand what I'm saying? What is our 5-year plan of action? You understand what I'm saying? We got to be jotting these things down. We have to be. You understand what I'm saying? Because if not, it's almost as if we're living without a purpose. Purpose and plan. We got to have a purpose, and we got to plan. We have to. We can't just be out here winging it. We can't just be doing that. I told a buddy of mine this about a week ago. I said, man, I see you grinding. You getting it in. You working a bunch of hours, man. I salute you, bro. You doing your thing. And I asked him, I said, what are you trying to, what's the purpose? What's the purpose? If I'm working 70 hours a week or more, I'm doing that because I have a purpose for doing that. Does that make sense? I'm not working 70 and 80 hours a week to be doing it. I have a purpose behind doing it. Does that make sense? Everything you do, you want to have purpose behind it. Anything that you do, have purpose behind it. I'm not getting in my vehicle and just driving around to be driving. Or you could break that down. Sometimes you can get in your car and just go for a drive. But guess what? That's the purpose. You're in your car driving around for what? Just to be driving around. That's the purpose. I could get in my car right now and drive to go to the grocery store to go get groceries. What's the purpose of me driving in my car right now at this moment? I'm going grocery shopping. That's the purpose. You understand what I'm saying? Those are examples on a simple level. But everything you do in life, put purpose behind it. And don't, we don't want to get too far in front of ourselves that we do not reflect. Always reflect on your life. You don't want to reflect on your life and you got 10 to 15 years worth of reflection because you've never reflected. You haven't. We don't want to do that. You understand what I'm saying? So I believe that's my message in this video is reflection. We don't even know how powerful that is. Reflecting is just being able to just be so deep in thought that it'll just hit you. A light bulb will go, oh, I got it now. That's why or man, I should have never did that. Or man, I should have went into, now I know moving forward. Now I know moving forward. You understand what I'm saying? And we want to be mindful of those things. You always want to make sure you know who you are as a person. No one knows you better than God and you. That's right. We're going to be able to reflect. I want us to just sit back and reflect on our lives, no matter where you are at in life, no matter where you plan to be in life, and no matter where you have came from and all of the things that you had to go through. We are going to reflect on the past, prior, recent events of our lives. Let's get busy. You know, I could think all the way back to when I was in 3rd grade, and I would eat breakfast, I would get dressed, and I would go to school, and I would just play as an innocent young little boy. And my life was completely carefree. I had no worries in the world whatsoever. I'm in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. You know, I'm pencil popping. I'm in school, you know, popping pencils. Who had the strongest pencil? You know, I'm doing arm wrestling matches. You know, I'm beatboxing. I'm beatboxing on, you know, in the lunchroom, in the cafeteria, and things like that. I had no cares in the world. Only thing that I really knew was that I could do no wrong. And I didn't want to listen to any form of direction, any form of discipline from my parenting. You know, I disobeyed my parents. My parents were bad and I was good. You know, so I thought. You understand what I'm saying? So fast forward up to, you know, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Now my life is slowly but surely starting to play itself out. It's starting to work itself out. And what I mean by work itself out, I mean that I'm also starting to see that everything my parents was teaching me at that time, looking back on it and reflecting back on it, they were absolutely right. My parents were absolutely correct. But me being so young and, you know, young and just young and dumb, I had no idea any of the things that they were talking about. Does that make any sense? You know, I get in 8th grade, 9th grade, and I'm starting to hang out with people that I had no business hanging out with, people that I really shouldn't be hanging out with. You know, I'm doing things that I have no business doing, and I'm starting to reap the benefits of my unhealthy and poor decisions. I'm starting to reap those benefits. And it's just not good. It wasn't good. You know, I'm sitting back and I'm reflecting on all of this stuff, and it just wasn't good. You know, I had a lot of coaches. I had great coaches, great life coaches. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of times in life, it's not about, we're just players. You understand what I'm saying? Even if you look back to, Michael Jordan, everyone looks at Jordan. Cool. Look at Jordan. He's something to watch. I looked at Jordan. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm also looking at the coaching. Who's doing the coaching? You know, who's calling the plays? You understand what I'm saying? It's no different than a Tom Brady. Great quarterback. Excellent. But I got to look, I have to analyze Bill Belichick. You know, I have to look at the coaching. Now that I reflect and I think back on a lot of these great players, I have to look at the coaching. You understand? And so for me, I had great coaches. You know, I was in, a lot of the summer youth programs and, the swimming classes and, soccer practice and, the musical festivals. And I was in every summer. I mean, even throughout the year, I was in every activity. I was in the chess club trying to play chess and, checkmate and check, I'm doing it all. But for some odd reason, I still found that the crowd that I had no business being with and the people that I had no business being with, I found for some reason for that to be more intriguing at that time. And that's why I'm talking about reflecting. As I reflect, that was just a waste of time that I can never get back. Me hanging with those people was just a complete waste of time. You understand what I'm saying? Because fast forward up until now, some of those people, if they're still alive, some of those people are still doing the exact same thing right now to this day. They are doing the exact same thing. They are. And what's crazy about life is that people go on with their lives. You look up and, such and such just graduated from college. Yeah, I heard about him. Yeah, I heard he was doing good. Such and such just had his firstborn. Yup, got the baby on the way now. Yup, such and such just bought that house. Yup, you heard about. And if you're not careful, you will either decline or stay stagnant. You understand what I'm saying? When other people's lives are going up and elevating, you will continue to be stagnant or decline. And a lot of that is about the coaching and the rest of the players that you have on your team. If you do not have good coaching and you do not have good, great, resourceful, beneficial players on your team that share a lot of the same beliefs, principles, morals, and ethical codes and qualities that you possess as yourself, then you will too decline or stay stagnant. And I mean this literally. You will look up and be 40, 45, maybe 50, and will be doing the exact same thing while everyone else is just going on with their lives. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I just got back from Cancun last week. It was nice. Yup. Yeah, I just bought that new. Yeah, you seen? Yup, I got the Benz. I got that. Yeah, I got it parked. No, that's my Sunday car. I only bring that out on Sunday when I listen to classical and jazz music. Yup, I'm doing good now. And when they ask you how you doing, you're going to be saying the same old stuff that you've been saying for the last 20 years. But it's not until we sit down and can actually reflect and think about this stuff. Sometimes we just need to be able to sit down and reflect on our past. It's very imperative for us to be able to sit down and reflect on our past, because that can give us motive. That can give us fuel. That can give us drive. And that can give us the push that we need to be able to distinguish everything that we need when it comes to moving forward. But we can't move forward until we get all of the tools, the materials, the resources, the equipment that we need to reflect on the past. So you have to be able to reflect on you have to be able to sit down and reflect on the past. Jot things down. Take notes. Meditate, reflect, pray, and let's move forward. You understand what I'm saying? It's like making a mistake. A lot of people just thinks that you make a mistake and that's it. Once you make a mistake, that is not the end all be all. You made the mistake. Let's see where we went wrong. Let's reflect, look at the mistake, analyze it, decipher on it, and let's move forward. You understand what I'm saying? Reflection is so big. I try to reflect often. I reflect often because without reflection, I don't know where or what I was, and that's the power of reflection. You understand what I'm saying? It's like when you're standing in a mirror and you're looking at you can see your reflection. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of us don't even want to see our reflection. We hate what we see. We hate what we see. The key is to transform, create a new self, create a new identity, and fall in love with what we see. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just kind of what I mustered up. I was mustering some things up and what I mustered up was reflection. You understand what I'm saying? We have to be able to reflect, take the notes, do the due diligence, do the acquired things that need to be done, and then let's move forward. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know. As I was sitting back and I was analyzing a small portion of my life, I really was thinking that it's a lot that I could have done better. It's a whole lot that I could have done differently. It's some people that I had no business, I had no business going to their house playing PlayStation. I had no business going to their house just for a couple domino games. I had no business skipping school going with them. I had no business going with them to that skating rink. I had no business getting in the car with them. You understand what I'm saying? I had no business inviting them back to my mama's house. I had no business doing a lot of the things that I was doing. But growing up, we don't even think about these things. We don't. You understand what I'm saying? Until you get a little bit older. And now it starts to hit home. It actually starts to hit home, especially when those, when the risk doesn't match the reward. Let that sink in. For a lot of us, we out here doing things and the risk doesn't match the reward. You understand what I'm saying? It's almost as if, you're just kind of, I don't want to say winging it, but I'll say it's almost as if you're kind of just going with the flow. When every move is supposed to be a completely calculated, strategic move. Every move is supposed to be a calculated, strategic, analyzed, deciphered move. Every move. It's not supposed to be oh, well, I guess I'll just go on and it's not supposed to be any of that. Every move you make counts. Every last one counts. You understand what I'm saying? Every move counts. And so knowing this now, looking back, because they say hindsight is 20/20, it's a whole lot of things that I could have done better. It's a whole lot of better decisions and better choices that I wish I would have made. You understand what I'm saying? And so we have to take all of this and move forward. That's what we do. Now, what does moving forward look like? Moving forward may look like you have to create a whole new identity. You have to create a whole new you, a whole new version of you. And this is a day-to-day process. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe you didn't get a chance to finish that chapter on that book that you really wanted to finish. Maybe you only read a half a chapter today. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe you didn't get a chance to clean your whole house. You only got a chance to clean 2 or 3 rooms. Maybe you only got the kitchen done. Maybe you slacked off on cutting the grass. Maybe you pushed off the grocery shopping until tomorrow. You understand what I'm saying? I'm breaking it down in simple day-to-day terms because this is how serious it is. It's sort of like a budget. Every number 2 with cheese you get, it counts. Every load of every $10 to $20 that you take to cash in for quarters to go to the laundromat, that counts. You understand what I'm saying? Every bottle of vape juice or cigarettes or whatever you into, all of that money counts. Every dime, nickel, penny, quarter counts. It all counts. So we have to be frugal and keep a frugality mindset when we're in our budgeting. You understand what I'm saying? Which goes back to reflection. As I reflect, I've literally wasted so much money. I have wasted so much money that I could never get back. This money will never come back. You understand what I'm saying? But what I can do is create new habits, new frugality spending habits that will make it easier for me and my finances in the future. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's what we have to be mindful about.